Welcome to Minding My Business. I hope you're having a blessed up day. And if you're not, hopefully today's episode is going to bless you up. This was a show dedicated to celebrating people that have created a lane for themselves and are doing extraordinary things in the world. The whole point of the show is to help you elevate your business, your mindset, and your life. Enjoy the show. My honor to have today Vanessa Goncalves. And she is
Yes.
she's a yoga teacher here in Miami. I am blessed to get to take her classes every week. She's also a dentist, which I was like, wow, that's amazing. Author, even more inspiring, of I Am Enough, I Am Vulnerable. So thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Tanya, for inviting me to this to make this collaboration together. I'm the blessing person here is me because I have you as a student and I see all your dedication into your practice and how you be growing and how you be grounding yourself into the space. So I'm more than proud of having you.
Oh, thank you. And so you got multiple different careers going on here. And one of the things is about getting to know the human being before the role, task, and responsibility. But I always get curious, kind of look at our careers as like our sports. What got you into, I mean, you got three careers in one here as far as like yoga teacher, dentist, and then also author. And I heard also too, you're model, or you had a modeling background, which I was like, man, this woman
Mhm.
is gorgeous. She's like gorgeous. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, of course. Like, so
Thank you.
what is it that got you into the pursuit of, let's just start off maybe with yoga, and then you can maybe explain the other career choices that you've made.
Well, at first I want to start from the beginning. So I
Yeah.
studied dentist in Venezuela. I graduated like a dentist in my country, and then when I came to this country, you need to revalidate your career. So in the middle of time, I was doing dental assistant and general manager hospitality and a dentist clinic. And because my belief is, so I don't know, my point of view or the way that I learn how develop my practice as a dentist and this country was such a difference because my perspective, my opinion, what I live was like the doctors doing things to patients they don't need it only for charge to the insurance. So I've been having like this like uncomfortable situations because almost like half of the clients that we are having in these dental clinics, they are friends of mine. And when I review all the treatments the doctors they are doing to them, half of them patients don't need it, and they do only for charge to the insurance.
Mm.
So I was thinking was the place that I was working, so I changed to another place and then to another place. And then I passed for probably 4 or 5 dentist office and all operate in the same way. So I start to notice that maybe it's a little bit of the system health of the country that is like such a shame.
Mm.
But then I get like an accident on a bike. I fell down. I broke my temporal bone.
Mm.
And I lose my hearing on my left side. And it's what kind of the same thing. The things that hospital try to offer me, one of them I really don't need it. And it's kind of like the health system in this country, in my point of view, is a little bit like different. And the way that I grew up, or the way that was in Venezuela, where I grew up. So it's I always have this battle with this health system here. So for me, it was kind of hard to develop my career as a dentist if I'm not aligned with how work the health in this country, you know?
Mm.
And beside that, and that moment when I was having this opportunity to be a dental assistant, was a lot of Venezuelans that are moving to US because the bad situation of my country, a lot of insecurity, instability, like a lot of stuff happening there. So a friend of mine that she was working as realtor in Miami for so long, she bring me this light, why you don't do a real estate with me. So I work as a realtor for probably 5 years with such a huge and really good companies in the country and then the state. That is one Sotheby's and Dora Puig. And I make my, I can say like my base of economy with with that career. So that is helping me along the way to have the opportunity to explore what my heart was looking for to serve to this world. And one of the things that I found as a dentist is that was I was working as a dentist in my country, I was really enjoying like take care of people because people feel and believe that people go to the dentist only to have a beautiful smile. Yes, that is like 80% of the people. But the fun part is like when they just get into the office and they sit, the first 50 minutes is talk about how are their days, how are they feeling, the problems they have with the family, with the wife, with the girlfriend, with the husband. So since I was a leader, I found that one of my best skills is like really, I'm a really good listener because I really pay attention what people say. And I have the engagement to have a conversation to really pay attention. And so as a dentist, when you work, half of your job is listen. And then um, I get a very depressed moment in my life. I was in a dark spot for a breakup with an ex boyfriend, and I tried to do like a lot of stuff to put myself together and was like super hard. Um, Once again, like I visit a lot of psychologists and psychiatrists, and all of them want to try to give me like pills to get out of the depression that I was having. And I was against to any of that until I found out this doctor that she recommended me to start meditation. And when I found that, for me, it was kind of hard because I always be like super active. I was doing triathlons, I was running like like a lot of active stuff, and found myself sitting, meditating. I was like, oh my God, that is not for me. But the thing is, like, I was like tired to try everything. So I was like, okay, I want to give this a chance to see what happened. And when I start to meditate and I start to really enjoy the meditation part, be by myself, calm all the fluctuations of my mind, settle down, ground myself, have an opportunity to listen what are all my thoughts, and at the same time have the opportunity to allow myself to feel all the sensations and emotions there was when you are sitting start to arise. And it's when you really start to know yourself deeply. And that beauty of the meditation allows me to gravitate towards yoga. And I love to where I am right now, what I'm doing, that is teaching yoga and hold this space. Because I always say this, I mean, I'm not a teacher. I'm hold the space for people. Or at least that is what I want.
That's beautiful. I love how all of it intertwines. And like I remember the one day I was like I mean, we were all human, and regardless of the external success or the achievements or the things on the checklist, and you've achieved a lot from everything that you're saying. I think it's just so great to just know your heart and your heart posture and what's led you into the practice as you maneuver through like what you're doing, but not who you are. And I remember one day in class, I was like, I was just feeling so disconnected, and I was like, man, every time she just shows up fully, like, and you're the way that you show up just inspires. I mean, especially like me, I'll just talk about myself. It's like just so inspiring, just how you show up and how you hold space. And it's like like what do you do outside of this, right? Like what are your daily habits and your rituals? And you're like, I do my walking meditations. I was like, oh, that's right, thank you for the reminder. And so speaking of like your daily methods of how you show up and your habits, your rituals, routine for you to show up for us, what are some of your non-negotiables? You mentioned meditation, but do you have any like morning and night routines that are like your non-negotiables for you to just show up fully so that you can serve others from a full cup?
I think so. I have three things that are non-negotiable for me. And one of them is in the morning, my ritual of meditation and coffee is a non-negotiable. No matter where I am, no matter how time it is, no matter like who is with me, that is a non-negotiable for me. It's like keep me grounded. No matter if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 hour, but I need to have the time to sit, slow down, meditate, and then, okay, I did a start. The second one, I can say like I need to have my own practice of yoga, and that is a daily practice as well. I only rest one day a week. But the thing about me is like I need to have my own practice, but I don't like to practice by myself. I like to go to a class for someone because as a teacher, or at least that is who I am, when I practice by myself, I still be in my mind because I need to create what is the flow that I want to do. So
Mhm.
sometimes for me is hard because it's okay. I'm still like having this moment in my life that I need to create, I need to think. And there are no better sensation of feeling as a yogi, at least for me, is like showing up in a class and you know someone is gonna lead you into this space. It's gonna hold the space for you. So that is my second. And the third one, I can say like I need time to disconnect.
Mhm.
And my disconnection, I try to do at least once a month or every 2 months. I really like close everything that is work and escape 3 days, 4 days, the time that I can, but I really need that. And when I do this, I usually go to nature. I like to hiking. I like to go be around nature. Nature grounds me a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw you do a lot of traveling. Well, I saw for the holidays
Mm,
and stuff like that. And I saw you
yeah.
hiking. It looked amazing. Sorry, my little earbud keeps falling out. What tools do you use specifically? Because you have some things you talked about as far as like being able to pivot and like knowing when you're like, okay, dentistry now is going to lead me into, I know that I need something more. I need my soul food, and this led me into here, and this led me into there. But like, there are times where something pulls at your heartstring, and it's like, do you have a way or any systems or nudges that you can identify or share with people listening of like knowing when it's time to move on to something new or when it's time to pivot into something else in life or business or relationships?
I think that like we all have our own gift,
Mm-hmm.
and the first is knowing what is your gift. What is that thing that make you unique? And when you know what is your strength, what is your gift, you need to understand that if you have that gift is to share into this world. And that is what I found. I found myself, as I told you, I'm a really good listener and I'm really good to hold the space and I pay attention. And then when I share with time with someone, I'm totally there. It's not like I'm there, but my mind is no, 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 I'm there 100%, like
Mm-hmm.
100%. I'm very mindful with the time that I spend with people. And I feel like that with discipline are my strength. And I like to share that with the world. And as a dentist, you hold the space for the patient. And as a yoga teacher, you hold the space for the people. And then is like feel and see the transformation of your students. There are so many people they came to yoga class thinking like a yoga class is, I don't know, like a workout exercise, or they want to lose weight, or they want to stretch. That is good. Whatever the reason that you show up for any that you do in life is perfect. You have your own method. But then as a teacher, you see the transformation as a human in your students. They go for one thing, but at the end, if they really engage with what they are doing, you see how they change. They change the way they think, they change the way they act, the perspective. Even the physical parts start to change as well. So that is the beauty about what I'm doing. So if I want to say something for people that maybe they're looking for where they give, like go back when you are a child and remind what are those things that you are good at, and don't forget about those things. I know life sometimes put us between these walls that we need to work because we need the money to pay
Mhm.
rent and pay life, and we start to having all these jobs only for that, to cover our money life. But I highly recommend you people don't never give up about that your heart telling you that is for you.
Mhm.
Because there are no so much better sensation than doing what you really love. So I be in that situation as well. I need to work as a realtor, not because I love, because I was not loving what I'm doing, to be really honest, for the reason I'm not doing anymore, but because I need the money. And then when I found myself, okay, now I can play a little bit to develop what I really want. I want to do it because I could be sitting there in my comfortable position for so many years as a realtor because I was making such a good money, but I was so happy. So my happiness and my peace are non-negotiables in my life,
Mhm.
more than maybe my economy.
Mhm. Mhm. When I want to go back a little bit to the power of meditation because you said you are somebody that like was so used to like action taking and action orientation, right? And then because you knew that you were open-minded to trying so many things of going through a traumatic incident, like everybody's trauma is different and it's not to be compared, but you were open-minded to trying new things holistically. Can you maybe share, because I know my personal journey with meditation and it wasn't very delightful in the beginning. I had a lot
Of
of
course,
anger.
no.
So I think like when people talk about the beginning of it being so amazing, yeah, that's on the other side. But like what have you noticed like your return on like you really sticking with the meditation practice? Because in the beginning it is very frustrating. Can you share just like the process?
But tell me what habit you are able to incorporate in your life that since the beginning is such an amazing thing. Nothing.
Hmm.
Like if you go to the gym, probably the first month you are struggling with pain and sore. So that is no fun, no?
Mhm.
But the thing is like, okay, we have the ego part that when you start to looking good, okay, you will stick to that thing that maybe is not fun for you, but you look good. But because this is in your mind and nobody is watching your mind, only you, so it's more hard that people stick in the habit of sit and sit to meditate. Is not fun at all in the beginning. It's like it's terrible. I mean, your seat will start to hurt. Your hips, you think is gonna broken. Like then you get like, oh my, you feel that you're losing time and you're wasting time, and you're like, I don't see any results here. But when you go to the gym the first week, you see any results? I guarantee you no. I mean, you can be naked in front of the mirror, and now you're like, okay, same as like saying it's like
Mhm.
it's the same stuff. It's like if you start to running, it's terrible when you start to running. Like I remember back in the days when I was running, I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. I was like tired. I feel like my heart is gonna go out of my mouth. Like, it's
Mhm.
any sport, any discipline, anything that you try in the beginning is not fun because the curve for learning is always tough.
Mm,
So you need to give the chance to meditation start to bring you all the gift and benefits
mm,
as you are patient when you go to the gym, as you are patient when you start to play, I don't know, paddle, tennis, any sport that you like it. And the beginning is not fun.
mhm. You talk a lot about how like your non-negotiables being like your quiet time, your yoga, your meditation. And in the beginning, now you're talking about the discipline of like it not being fun, but you kept pursuing it. And now, what would you say like your biggest things that you've gained from the discipline and the daily practice of the consistency of your yoga practice and your meditation that you receive? Because we keep doing things because there's some type of a reward attached to it. So, can you share with us like what is that reward that you benefit from the daily practice of your meditation, your quiet time, and your yoga practice?
I feel like change the perspective of my mind.
Mm,
Have the time to step back and breathe. I mean, that is such a gift. We are in constant moments to take decisions all time. You need to take decisions all time. And sometimes decisions are easy, but other times are hard. And if you want to take the decision like with without stepping back, sitting and clear your mind and have this breathe to control your emotions and your feelings and synchronize your brain with your heart,
mm,
uh, you probably want to make such a huge mistakes in life.
mm,
So for me, the best reward is that is allow me to have another perspective in life. So whatever thing, for have a conversation with a friend, to talk with my family, to know what I want to invest my money, my time, my day, like my life. Like it's about that.
mm. That's so well said. I love how you said it. It's almost like you're preventing malpractice in your life, like you would as like they love doctors. They talk about doctors like doing malpractice, but like the decisions we make could you're saying through a meditation practice and just breathing and taking that healthy time out to just create space to not have those malpractices that could have been prevented.
Yeah, and it's everything. Like it's sometimes I find myself if I'm texting with someone and you start to having like a rough conversation, I was okay. Step back, meditate, because you can be pulling for the momentum that is happening. And it could
Mhm.
be a cold conversation, a hot conversation, like a tough conversation. And if you always have like meditation is bringing you that that lightness that you are able to be more sensitive of the stuff and you are able to see yourself when you are acting and when you are reacting because that is the only thing that we can control.
Amen to that. What would you say, any other things that you would say, like when you're going through, say, like really chaotic times or very stressful circumstances, like what is it that keeps you focused during those times where, as you're growing and scaling, I think a lot of people forget that opportunities and distractions can also come in ways that aren't always necessarily bad. But how do you stay focused on your path when you're just like either in massive stress or something bad has happened or you get these opportunities that almost sound like so amazing you have that FOMO, right? That fear of missing out.
I think so, like we are all having those situations and those moments, and it's okay, like sometimes it's okay to drop the ball, like, to feel everything. If you wake up one day and some days I wake up and I don't want to go out of the bed. I want to cry, but I love myself to cry, but I cry a little bit and then that's okay. My day needs to start. And it's not be attached to things in life. to
Mm-hmm.
emotions, to feelings, to situations, to people. Is life is detached. Is create your freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like when you are able to enjoy your freedom, you know that you are not attached to anything. You are not attached for the titles that you have. You are not attached for the place you live. You are not attached for the friends or the home you have or your boyfriend or husband. You are not attached to anything. And that does not mean like, oh, she is like a cold person. No, I have a lot of feelings and emotions, but I know things maybe have an end, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like what is, because I think people just say words and they don't really understand, like, Dr. Joe Dispenza, I both have gone to his walking meditations. He says wisdom is when there's no more emotional charge to a memory. And that, like, I had to keep, like, that one I had to process a while. And when you're talking about disattachment, like what is that? Like, can we go a little bit deeper into that disattachment? Because it sounds like this is something you're really putting into practice in your life.
I just start to enjoy the moment, the present, the here and the now.
Mhm.
And what I have right now, Friday at 2:34, is the coffee and the conversation that I have with you. The first thing, no? And then the rest of the thing that is around me. So I enjoy this moment from the small ones to the biggest stuff. But
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe tomorrow I don't have this. So what I can do? Nothing. But if I look back, I enjoy when I was here with you having this conversation and having my coffee.
Mhm.
So it's about enjoy, to really enjoy what you are doing. And when you are really enjoy the present moment, then if you don't have any more, you don't have any regret because you are living to the fullest. And the problem is, I feel like a lot of people, they don't live into the fullest. They don't want to express who they really are. They are not allowed to love with all the heart. Like everybody is in this situation, like halfway of everything. Halfway of your love, halfway of the full potential, halfway of the show up, halfway of the connection with someone, halfway of have a conversation. Like
Mhm.
everybody is like keeping this half. And when you leave to the half, you are not happy. Like you are
Mhm.
not free. You are not experiencing love. You are always in fear, or you are always in, I don't know, in another place that is not here.
Mhm. I love how, and you are, I mean, I can tell with your work ethic and like where you're going is like you do operate from your heart and your head. And, some people, I think they don't understand that we are everything. We have to learn how to operate and utilize everything so that we can be assets to ourselves and also to the world. And something that I've realized with the human being, with like all the information out there that can easily get like misunderstood, and I want to ask this because you really do practice it, and I can tell. I'm an observer, so I'm seeing how people move and how they show up and how their consistency is. But how do you stay disattached and disciplined and committed at the same time? Because I think that's a big misconception, or people don't know how to piece the two together.
Discipline is something that you need to build in your life. There are some people that are, I don't know, I think so it's the way maybe that your parents grow you, or whatever person that was in charge of your childhood was next to you. But I grew up in a family and my parents are like very strict, like
Mhm.
kind of military life. So for me, building discipline is easy because I grew up with that.
Mhm.
But I can tell people that I know there are like no discipline at all. Like you see, like there are no discipline. And the only way to build discipline is with work. I mean, you need to show up over and over again. It's the only way to build that, like a habit. Make that whatever that you want to do in your life a habit incorporate it over and over again. And I think so that is the key of successful as well. I mean, be disciplined and have commitment with the stuff is the
Mm.
only way to be success in something.
And how do you though stay like disattached from that at the same time? Like how do those partner up? You know, like to be so disciplined with something, but to not be attached to it at the same time. Like how do you like let's talk about you specifically in your life
Mhm.
because you were talking about not being attached or the disattachment, but you also are so consistent and you have a high level of commitment and discipline. So how do you do both? For you personally.
I don't know. I don't feel I'm attached to anything. I enjoy the things that I'm doing. But for
Mm-hmm.
example, I don't know if tomorrow I don't have the opportunity to teach more yoga for whatever reason. I'm sure I want to be depressed. I want to be sad. I want to cry. I need to pass all those emotions and all those feelings. It's normal. It's a human stuff. But I'm sure that I want to be able to rebuild myself again for whatever that the universe had for me.
Mm, okay,
Because
that
I
makes
really,
sense.
yeah, because I really believe that we all have the power to start from the scratch.
Hmm.
The thing is that it's comfortable. Keep in your space and don't move. It's nice, no? You don't feel fear. You don't feel like you need to do like more than you can be here and you are good and it's comfortable, it's nice. But I feel like that is not life. That is
Mm,
like that is that is not living to the fullest. That is like be a robot every day waking up and
mm-hmm.
without a purpose.
Mm,
So
mm,
find your purpose.
mm. How would you say like so I mean, I already told you, I'm like, you're such a beautiful soul. I told you from the moment I met you, I was like, your classes are like, even if it's just one class a week, they're like non-negotiable. And so, because it's you, right? So everything is an extension of you. As you take care of you, you also are going to attract similar people to you and your core values. But when it comes to allowing people close into your inner circle, like your friend circle, your vulnerable side, your whether it being an intimate relationship or whatever, to whatever degree, what are the core values that you carry when you allow people the closest to you in your life?
First and very important, honest communication. Then loyalty.
Mm,
And then respect. So I think so these three things to be applied in my life and my relationships and my friends, even in my work.
mm,
So if some of any of these three things that are not there, it's not for me. So I'm so clear what are my non-negotiables, even
mhm,
for those stuff in life.
mhm. How has that helped you, like being clear about your non-negotiable? I mean, have you always been completely clear about your core values and non-negotiables?
Of course, no. I mean,
Mm,
of course, no. I mean, I struggled so many years and so unhealthy in relationships, even friendships, and even like partner relationship, like love relationships. And you learn, you need to learn. You need to learn to step forward to having a healthy life.
mm,
Because the people that is around you and the people that you share your time is gonna make your life. So if you are not in a healthy friend relationship, if you are not in a healthy partner relationship, if you are not in a healthy environment of work, how you can be a healthy person? It's impossible.
mm,
So yes, I learned from struggle myself in being abusive relationships. um, with narcissists, with men that they are like no good men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very learned.
Have you noticed, like, now being on both sides, one of like learning what you didn't want and now like allowing you to have your healthy boundaries, that it's been a lot easier to have discernment for the people that have your highest and greatest good, by having strong core values and standards?
I can say yes, but sometimes life surprises you. And there are
Hmm.
people they can make into your life and at the beginning they look like amazing people and the end they really show who they are. So it's it's having always the awareness to see the red flags and don't believe that you are able to change anyone. Like people only can change if they want. And
Mm-hmm.
that is our own personal word. You don't came to this world to change anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You came to this world to do your work for you.
Mm, amen. That is 100% true. Mm-hmm. Um, you mentioned a few things of like relationships that you've had to build anew for yourself and kind of like go back to the drawing board and get back up and hold space for yourself, but at the same time not feel sorry for yourself. What are some things that you had to overcome, traits, shadows traits, self-sabotaging traits, in order to become this woman that we get to have conversation with today?
I thought so many things. I mean, and for the reason I write this book, that is, I'm enough and I'm vulnerable.
Mm,
Because it's not because I want to be a writer, I want to be famous, I want the people know who I am. It's because when I was in my lowest point in my life and my darkest space, I was like so bad, like really bad. And probably I can have a conversation with any person and explain what I was feeling, and for that person, it's gonna be nothing. So underestimate the problems of the other ones is not your job either. Because for you, for your work, your perspective, what am happening right now in my life could be like a stupid thing. For that person could be the entire life. So holding the space is that is have the capacity to listen, understand the people. Maybe you are not able to understand, but hold the space for that person. Listen, because sometimes people they need only to talk. So when I was in that darkest spot in my life, I have so many thoughts, like terrible thoughts. I want to end my life because I was feeling that I had no purpose for me out there. So overcome that took a lot of work, a lot of discipline, a lot of reading, a lot of study, a lot to understand myself, and know a lot to heal a lot of traumas that I've been having since I was kid. Relationships with my mom, my dad, my brother. A lot of stuff that you sometimes hold and you don't want to talk because you don't think they are like a huge thing, but if that make you a little bothers you inside or a little noise inside, talk about it. Have the courage to express yourself. Don't feel ashamed to have a conversation with someone, no matter what is uncomfortable, but at least you are releasing, you are allowing yourself to express what you think without any expectation, only to express. And then having like the maturity as well. Like I feel like as you are aging, you get like more, I don't know, mat mature um thoughts, and that has allowed you as well to be more centered and be and have more wisdom. And yeah, so when I write this book, I was in a really bad situation, and I write and I was like, huh. I don't want to publish this. I don't think so. I need to get more content. This is not good. And I was always like, try to sabotage what I was doing. And
Mm,
then a very close person, a cousin of my mom, he committed suicide. And when I know the news, I was feeling terrible
mm,
because everything that I write in this book is about that, is to share the people my story, not because I want they do the same thing that I do, to create empathy. And know like we sometimes we all having these problems, we are having these thoughts. And the thing is like sometimes like society try to undercover that because people they don't want to be pointing and they don't want to be vulnerable and share what they are thinking. So the reason of the book is that if
mm,
you read the book as something that resonates with you and you know that you are not alone, that we are all on the same path, for me is more than enough.
mm,
So that is the purpose. So I use the book as a tool to share my story, to create empathy.
mm. That's so beautiful. And is how can people get access to that? It's in your link in your bio. Is it on Amazon or?
It's an Amazon. You can go on Amazon here in Miami, the Books and Books library. They have as well the book in Coral Gable. You can find as well in Google.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, there are different places you can find it.
That's amazing. And for this next chapter of your life of where you're going and who you're evolving into, um, what who do you have to become in this next level of your life? Like what are you working on right now?
I think so. Right now, mm, I really accept where I am, but I will love to have a partner, like like someone to share my life,
Yeah.
someone to share my journey with. So I'm working on that because as one of the things as a human you need to do as well is understand what be your mistakes in the past and not be able to repeat those mistakes. So my curve of learning right now, and then when I want to move forward, is don't repeat those
Mm,
mistakes. Because in the past, maybe I stay in relationships only because it's a good person, but I was not having a deep connection with them. Or when I was more younger, I stayed with that person because that person um sharing stability with me, like financial stability, but I was like super unhappy with that person. Or maybe I be in relationships where person was like, I don't know, like want to take the things slow and I want to be like so fast. So it's learning.
yeah.
So I'm in that curve of be the person that I want to attract to my life in the
Mm,
love way.
mm. I love something you said because I agree. When you get a little older, you start to really reevaluate life. You start to audit life and how you're moving and what you're prioritizing and what you value. And you had said something earlier about like really loving and loving is living. And I thought that was really beautiful. And I really want to just kind of like go back to that one part because I had a breakthrough in one of my meditations and I was like super emotional. I still get a little emotional about it because, when we have so much trauma in our life or we've been rejected or abandoned so much to ourselves and then also from others, we get this like fear. And I'll just speak for myself. You get this fear of like loving and then you're afraid to love, but it's like then you realize like life is loving. If you're not loving, you're not living. Can you touch on that some more?
Um, be a broke heart, like get your heart broke is terrible
Hmm.
because it's such a pain. Like, of course it is. Like, oh my God, you feel like the war is like it's gonna end.
Yeah.
But it's worse living in a
Mhm.
relationship with the fear to don't give your whole heart to someone.
The cutest
So,
little things.
yeah, so it's like if you are open to have a relationship, like show yourself and give your 100% to that person,
Hmm.
no matter what happened. Sometimes
Hmm.
people, they, I hear sometimes friends, they give this advice to older ones, like, don't show that you are totally in love with him because, or with her, because they want to lose their interest. And I was like, that is not true.
Mm-mm.
If I look back and I see um these beautiful relationships with person that I have next to me and close to me, they've been together for so many years, and you ask them, you in the beginning no show up as you are? No, they all show up. It's like in a job position. You you want to show your best version of you, not to get the job. So why you don't do the same when you go in a relationship?
Mm.
Why you need to be like in the half? Like no.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, what are your thoughts too, like on that, like not being authentic either? Because I've done some coaching sessions and I'm like, well, if you're not really being your full self and being real, you're lying.
Well, that is at the other part that is like super hard when you start to know someone because people sometimes they they say what you want to hear, no?
Mm.
To be accepted, to be like approachable, or having the chance to or the opportunity. And that is terrible because that is not sustainable on the time. You can be who you are for forever. Like, and at one point, all those like covers that you put on your top is gonna fail and want to show you who you are. So it's when you start to get in these disappointments and this like icky because like it's no real person.
Mm. Mhm.
So show us you are. If you really be with a person that is a genuine and authentic and have like a beautiful and loving relationship, you need to show yourself as you are and give yourself everything and give that person all that you have to give.
Mm. I love how you said that too, like how you correlated it with the workforce, like how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're gonna go full in work, why would you not do that in relationship? Why would you not do
Of
that with your
course,
friendships? Yeah.
no makes sense at all.
Hmm. You know how they would say like 50-50. I think a few power couples I've been following, they've been like, no, we give 100. And then I don't know if you've ever listened to Brene Brown. I'm sure you
Yeah,
have, right?
yeah. Yeah,
She
but that is
go ahead.
what she say. I know where the point that you go, that she say like you can give the 100 because it's like you empty yourself.
Hmm.
No, is what she say, no?
She says like what she does with her partner and her friends is they audit. So she's like, where are you at? And he'll be like, I'm at a 7. I'm at they go through 1 through 10. I'm at a solid 7. She's like, oh well, I'm at a 3. And then it's like when to cover for each other. So it's like you don't have to go there and be like, what's wrong or this and that. It's just kind of like, having your own language, like, hey, where are you at? Like, I got you today. Or like, oh, we're both at a 3. Okay, let's pull it together. So I was like, that's really cool, like how they do that. I mean, she's a
Yeah,
researcher,
but
she's a
but having that, what you need to have
mm,
a really good communication
hmm.
and be so honest. Because in otherwise you want to always show in like a perfect. So It's like, okay, I'm perfect. I'm not doing nothing wrong. So, and I'm not able to speak what I feel and or want to express what I thinking. So communication is everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
everything in life. If you are
Yeah.
not able to stand yourself out there and communicate what you think, what you feel, you are like a little bit hard place, I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And that also comes down to like, what do you value? You value communication. And you speak multiple
Yes.
languages too. I know you always say that in
Mhm.
class, you're like, oh, guide me. I'm like, but your communication, I think, is really great. I'm still learning English. So every different ways of communicating, right?
Yeah.
Um, how have you, just a few more questions, but like, how have you, it sounds like you've really done a lot of work on yourself and, what a gift it is. One of my favorite quotes is by Katie Reach. She says, self-care is giving the world the best of you versus what's left of you. So when you're actually doing the work on yourself and you're taking that personal responsibility, you get to bless the world with you. And you are that blessing because you are doing the work behind the work every single day. How have you been able to really pour in and build into your self-worth as a human being to really bless us with the gift of your authenticity and your presence?
Well, like believe it or not, is spending a lot of time and therapists
Mm,
with help of professionals to healing my roots, um, all my traumas, all my patterns, all my past
mm,
that I was struggling for so many years. And until you don't facing that, you always gonna be carry something. So do the work.
mm,
I one day I was in the airport. That was a long time ago, probably like 10 years ago. And I was reading these magazines the, of like successful men, like the billionaires of the
mm,
world. And I remember I read one of those guys, and he said that he has three um persons in his like paycheck monthly that are non-negotiable. And one was, of course, his
mm,
accountant, the lawyer, and the third one was a therapist, a
mm,
psychologist. And I think so that is very important.
mm,
Very important. You need to have someone that is able to guide you to see your blind spots, those spots that you are not able to see or you are not able to understand. And then they
mm,
have the courage to healing that because sometimes it's going to lead you to hard conversations with people in your life and a lot of work, internal work, and take time. It's not like one day. For me, take me like a lot of time.
mm. What do you like to do for fun? Because everything sounds very, very intense.
Yeah, for fun. I don't know. I like to spend time with my friends. We
Yeah.
always got to go dinner, go to the beach. I love to go to the beach. For me, like being in the nature, as I told you, is like it's my charge. It's like I feel the sun and I enjoy the breeze. And I don't know, the temperature of the grass, or if it's in the sand, the temperature of the grass, if I jump to the ocean, like all this little stuff, I really enjoy it.
Mm,
So having quality time for me with my friends and my family is my fun stuff to do.
love that. It's your love language.
Yes.
Everybody's got their love language. What would you say, man, this has been such an amazing interview. Thank you for just like your vulnerability, your authenticity.
Okay.
And I can, you're not holding back for us. So I know this is really serving a lot of people. What would you say? We talked about so much today, some really powerful things. If somebody could take one thing and apply it every single day, and it will make a huge impact in their life and in their business and their relationships, what would that one thing be?
Ask for help.
Hmm.
We all need help.
Hmm.
sometimes the thing is that we sometimes they don't we think that we don't want to be a how you say that in English when you
Like
don't
a
feel
like
that
a
someone
nuisance,
is no like you don't want that someone is as you want to be like a whole for someone like a
like a
heady weight.
burden, like a
Yeah,
burden.
like yes. So y- ask for help. Ask for help. Like
Mhm.
don't feel ashamed to ask for help. Have a really rough conversations with your family, with your friends. Express what you feel, how you see the stuff,
Mhm.
and it's not easy. I mean, you have your own perspective of view, and maybe probably when you say something, people they are not agree with you, but you if you listen them and you listen to advice or you are able to express, your perspective change.
Mhm.
When you hold everything and you close yourself and you put yourself in a shelf, it's like how you can live like that. Like un caracol ahí como like every close, like no.
Yeah. I want to ask a little bit further on this one because you were talking about like when you were going through therapy and having that like not just asking from anybody because there are manipulators, there are people
Of
that are
course.
not capable of helping you or holding space because they're going through their own stuff.
Well,
So,
that is very important why you're talking about it because I feel like it's a huge responsibility for a lot of people that are out there offering help without the knowledge and the professional way to guide someone. And there are like all these holistic and alternative stuff that there are out there that I'm not against to, but your first contact to have a really conversation about your problems, it's not gonna be a friend of you or your mom or your dad or I don't know, like a people that you found in the Instagram is as a professional.
mhm,
And maybe you need to bounce around a lot of professional until you found that one that is aligned with you. So that take time and patience as well, like a lot of patience. That is deserved because it's your base, it's your core. If you don't have your bases and your core and your roots grounded into the earth, and you are solid, knowing your darkness and your light, because we all have this, all of us, we are compound about this two forces. How you can move forward in life if you don't know yourself. So I'm not against to all this holistic stuff, and the opposite. I very resonate with them. But that was not gonna be your first approach.
mhm. I
And when I
love that.
said this, yeah, when I say this, I'm saying all these like therapies of mushrooms and psychedelics and ayahuasca, and bufo and peyote, and all
Mhm,
of that. That is like it's okay if you feel a call and you want to explore, that is your life. But you need a professional to guide you and your problems.
mhm,
And a professional is that person that is be able to do a whole search of you in a medical way. I say
mhm,
this because when I was having all these bad and depression moments, I visited a lot of therapists and a lot of them they want to give me like a pills, as I said in the beginning, to go out of the depression. And I was very depressed, but I was more depressed because my serotonin levels were are super low. So imagine in that moment I was trying like I don't know, I was trying any other stuff. Whatever thing that I want to be tried, probably I never want to go out of my unhappiness on the darkest spot that I was at because there are some chemicals in my brain. There are no in the place they need to be.
mhm.
So a professional guidance is so important, so important.
Mm. Yeah, I love that you emphasize that because I think, when you say like ask for help, some people just ask for help and then either they get rejected, they shut down, they're guided in a very unstable way. And I think what you're saying too is like you need stability during your darkest times. You need people, you keep saying this a lot, to hold a safe space for you, but to also give you direction of how to navigate, not to bypass or how to like pretend like depression doesn't exist or anxiety doesn't exist or suicidal thoughts don't exist, but to help you navigate through them because the only way out is through. And to teach you to be like self-sufficient like you are, like where you're on the other side and you have healthy tools to help you process them if they come back versus just like numb them or get another dopamine hit from something else.
Yeah, because sometimes what happens is that, I mean, you don't go to the root of the problem.
Mhm.
And that could be like uh if you go to that medical part, it could be like so many stuff, like your dopamine, your serotonin, like your adrenaline. It could be even like the level of your vitamin D
Mm.
that affect your hormones and make you imbalance in your brain and make you feel like more happy or more sad or more anxiety or laziness. So there are so many stuff. Like we are such a complex uh like beings, no?
Mhm.
And you need to understand where you are, what you have to really go deep into the problem.
Mm. Well, wow. That was it was so amazing. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to respect the time and the audience." But thank you so much for
No, thank you.
sharing your time, your energy, your knowledge, your personal experience, your vulnerability, your wisdom again. And thank you for our listeners. If you found value in today's episode, make sure you subscribe, that you like, you comment below one of your greatest takeaways for today, and you tag at Tanya C. Oliver and our guest. Until next time, remember that you were built for this, and it's time to elevate your business, mindset, and your life.